This message is for whoever needs to hear it. I have a question. What does Little Mermaid, Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Pocahontas, Aladdin, which is Princess Jasmine, what do all these things have in common? They're fairy tales, right? Okay, other than them being fairy tales, what else do you think they have in common? I'll be one to tell you that one thing that these things have in common is they're all based on a woman that was saved by a man or men or just saved, period. And I say this to say he ain't coming. These women in distress in these fairy tales waited on somebody to come and save them. And excuse me. And I'm just here to tell you today, and because we're learning to decipher between what's real and what's not, it's time to let go a lot of the fantasies, you guys, because he ain't coming. Daddy not coming. He not coming. They not coming. She not coming. Why? Because it's not meant for them to come. It's meant for you to save yourself. It's time to let go of all of the fairy tales. It's time to let go of all of the things that has had us imagining what's not real. The first time that I realized that fairy tales wasn't real is when I realized that as a young girl that boys didn't care nothing about you. They'll tell you whatever and they'll pretend to be whomever to get what they want out of you. And that was a huge reality check for me because I believed so hard in fantasies because I didn't really know the difference for a long time. I was sheltered, I guess you could say, as a child. So a lot of what the world really was kept from me. And it wasn't until my mom told me I wasn't going to leave her house till I was 30 years old till my spirit said, no. It's best if you get up and go now. And not in these words, but my spirit told me to get up and go because there are things that I needed to learn now and not later. And they were crucial. And if I had to grow through different things then, in a later time in life, it wouldn't be good. So at 15, 16 years old, these are the words that I'm hearing. Mind you, I have no idea what they mean. But I moved accordingly because I left home. I grew up wanting daddy, needing daddy. I grew up envying the relationship that my mom and my brother had. And now as an adult, I understand mama's boys, daddy's girls. Boys need their mom and girls need their dads and vice versa. But there's just something about that opposite sex when it comes to family relationships. I believe if they're in a house together, there is a balance because mama gonna be who she be with her boys, daddy's gonna be who he be with his girls. But at the same time, you have the two of them that can go back to each of them and balance things out. I pray that makes sense for somebody. But anywho, like I say, it's just time to break down certain fantasies and let go of certain fairy tales that do not exist in real life. Not to say that you can't have a fairy tale type relationship, but just the fairy tale of looking for somebody and waiting for somebody to come and save you, it's not going to happen, baby girl. It's not going to happen, baby boy. So if that's what you're waiting on, I'm asking you to let it go. Also, be honest with your children. Be honest with your children about what's real and what's not. And to some people that seems like, oh, well, of course I'm honest with my kids. They know that's not real, but that's not necessarily true. Kids are kids. And I have learned that fairy tales they are crucial to the development of a child's imagination. But they still need to know the difference of what's real and what's not in this world. Because if a child grows up with these different things or is sheltered like I was, they're going to grow up thinking that this is real life. Because I did. They're going to grow up thinking okay, I'm big now. I'm old enough to have a boyfriend, so I'm finna go out here and I'm finna meet Johnny, and he gonna be the man of my dreams, and he gonna treat me like gold, and we're gonna be married and have kids, white picket fence, and all of that. The biggest lie ever. Or as in my Kiki Palmer voice, the gag is, it's not real, baby. It's not. But I thought so. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other little girls that think so too, just watching this idiot box and just believing in the easy, believing in what's beautiful all the time, believing in things never having to be bad, and that's just not the truth, because that's not the world we live in. Also, the second time, or the next time I realized that fantasies and fairy tales weren't real, is through my relationship with my dad. Growing up, as I said, I envied the relationship with my mom and my brother, but I wanted a dad so bad. I just wanted what they had with somebody, even if it couldn't be him. So I didn't meet my dad till I was 30. So before him, imagine the things that I went through with guys thinking that they would be there and they would care and they would see me and they would love me. And so when I met my dad, I kind of had that same fantasy and I expected the same. And I'm sure he loves me, but the relationship that I imagined and the relationship that I prayed for and wanted so badly as a little girl, it just doesn't exist. And that's just being honest with not just the world, but with myself. It doesn't exist. The relationship that I imagined or I wanted with my mom, it doesn't exist. And I'm having to be, as an adult, I'm having to be okay with that, because mommy has always been there. But I think I'm at a point in my life where I know I'm at a point in my life where I don't need daddy to come and save me anymore. I don't need daddy to be my whole world anymore. I don't need daddy to comfort me anymore. And it was a huge wake-up call for me. Because again, I grew up as a little girl without a father, and all I kept seeing were other little girls with their fathers and my mom and my brother, and it was just like my biggest dream ever. But when I realized that circumstances and people being different, and just because I try to project what I feel as though our relationship would be onto them or us, it doesn't work that way, I just had to realize that what was real and what's not. Had to come to terms with what's real and what's not, just point blank, period. People aren't perfect. Things aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. My dad isn't perfect. My mom isn't perfect. And this perfect vision that I had in my mind about what relationship with parents should be, it was destroyed and torn down, and it more likely needed to be. So this message is for anybody who needs to hear it. Stop waiting on daddy to come and save you, baby girl. He not coming. Stop waiting on mama to come and save you, baby boy. She not coming. And they don't need to come. They shouldn't come, because you don't need them as an adult. My God. As an adult, I'm going to speak for myself. I don't need it anymore. As bad as I have wanted it. And what a lot of you going to realize one day is that a lot of what you've grown through in your relationships with your parents is trickling down on your relationships with others. And again, when I couldn't get daddy, or when daddy wasn't there to save me, I thought some man would come and save me and love me and be there for me and never leave me. Fantasies, you guys. Fairy tales, you guys, because everybody isn't meant to stay, even if that means a parent isn't there to stay. Everybody isn't going to love you the way you feel as though they should love you. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a beautiful life. That doesn't mean that you can't have a life of abundance. That doesn't mean that nobody loves you either. And that doesn't even mean that you can't have a stable relationship. The devil is a lie. You can. I don't care how broken other relationships in your life have been. All it takes is a different view, a different perspective, and for you to open your eyes to what's real. And I'm speaking from experience. From experience. Growing up, all of these fantasies that I had in my mind about what life should be, Relationship should be, it's just not real. And I've come to terms with that, and I'm okay with that. I've cried about it. I've released, and now I'm unpacking because I no longer want to carry any of this. I know who I am. I love who I am. And although I am not where society or others may feel as though I should be in my life, I've come a long damn way. And I've survived a lot of bullshit in my life. And I'm proud of myself for that. And I'm proud of you guys because there's a lot more of you out there that has a story similar to mine, if not worse. And right now I'm telling you, stop waiting. Stop waiting. It's not going to happen. It's not meant to happen. It's meant for you to save yourself. It's part of your independence. It's part of your growth process. The feeling of you saving yourself and someone else saving you is totally different. Yes, you're very appreciative, but when you save yourself, baby girl, baby boy, when you save yourself, there's strength in that. There's strength in it. Not just a good feeling, it's strength. And it's going to give you what you need to walk to that next level. I just wanted to give you guys that message. I hope it was what somebody needed. Again, Cinderella and them, some of my favorite people growing up. And God knows I wish I had known how much of it was not the truth. But I didn't. And I had to bump my head a lot to get the truth. And I've been fighting with that for years, but I'm finally here. I'm grateful. I'm okay with it. I'm going to save myself. I'm going to continue to save myself and be there for me in a way that I have wanted over the years for others to be there. Nobody is coming to save you, okay? But that's okay, because you have what it takes to save yourself. Be blessed.